Welcome to the channel and brace yourself, because what you're about to discover may forever change the way you look at pocket change. Could a simple 1998 D quarter, the kind casually tossed into vending machines or dropped between couch cushions, really be worth $230 million? What if I told you that buried beneath its unassuming copper-nickel surface lies one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in numismatic history, a tale steeped in controversy, government missteps, clandestine mint errors, and whispers of cover-ups so bizarre they seem pulled from a spy novel? It began in Denver in 1998, a routine minting year, or so everyone thought, until a few whispers began circulating in underground collector circles. A quarter had surfaced, one like no other, showing signs of anomalous doubling on the obverse, a ghost-like reverse image not seen in official records, and microscopic deviations in composition suggesting it was struck on a foreign planchet, perhaps even using a prototype die meant for a commemorative coin that never officially existed. Was it an accident, or something much more intentional? The whispers intensified when that coin, reportedly pulled from circulation by a retired metallurgist in Colorado Springs, sold quietly at a private auction for an eye-watering $3.1 million, vanishing into a private European collection, and then another surfaced, and another, each one subtly different, each triggering waves of disbelief and obsession in the numismatic community. As experts began tracing back production logs, mint press maintenance schedules, and archival footage of the Denver mint floor, only to discover that several internal documents from March 1998 had been redacted or outright deleted. Why would the U.S. Mint erase records from that specific window of time? Was there a rogue engraver at work, sneaking in forbidden dies? Or perhaps a malfunction so rare and so catastrophic that only a handful of coins survived, coins with features no quarter should ever have, like partial clad layers missing, misaligned hubs creating eerie 3D effects under magnification? Or, in the most shocking case, a Liberty head with a second eye visible only under UV light? Theories exploded across collector forums. Some believed it was a mint worker's secret retirement gift to the world, others thought it was a test strike for a covert international coinage contract gone wrong, and a few whispered that it was part of a Cold War-era treasure map encoded in coins, with the 1998 D quarter as a key. Madness, right? But madness turned into obsession when one such coin was submitted to a major grading service and the lab equipment detected traces of platinum in the metal. Platinum in a US quarter? How? Why? The service refused to comment publicly, and the coin was returned to the owner with an NDA and a vague anomalous result notation, only fueling the fire. And then came the turning point, when a retired Treasury auditor claimed in a podcast that he had once seen a confidential file marked DLQ98 anomaly, eyes only, hinting at a limited batch of coins struck during a software malfunction in die programming systems, producing a series of quarters with microscopic engravings that could only be read under an electron microscope, engravings that, according to him, contained Latin phrases, sequential numbering, and what appeared to be celestial coordinates. Suddenly, it wasn't just about a valuable coin, it was about unlocking a code hidden in plain sight, and collectors turned into code breakers, mapping star charts and dissecting every curve of Washington's profile as though it were Da Vinci's Last Supper. And just when the fever seemed to peak, an anonymous Reddit user posted high-resolution scans of a supposed 1998 D quarter purchased for 25 cents at a garage sale in Kansas, claiming it contained an image of an owl embedded in the ridges, along with the letters UO barely visible beneath the mint mark. Conspiracy theorists connected it to the mysterious Order of Owls, a secret society rumored to operate within U.S. intelligence circles, and claimed the quarter was a deliberately placed breadcrumb in a much larger puzzle. And then the Smithsonian weighed in, breaking decades of silence, announcing it had acquired a strikingly anomalous 1998 D quarter for further study and would be launching a multi-agency investigation into its origins. Media frenzy followed, with collectors lining up by the hundreds at coin shows, waving quarter-filled sandwich bags, praying to be the next millionaire. And as the prices soared, with private sales reportedly topping $50 million and one case of a coin being traded for a 200-foot yacht, the world had to ask, why? this quarter, and why now? Some believe it's about more than money, that this coin was never meant to exist, that its creation was a cry for help from inside a crumbling institution, or a last act of rebellion from a dying mint worker who wanted to be remembered not by name, but by anomaly. Others believe it's a harbinger, part of a prophetic cycle linked to economic resets and shifts in global power. But whatever you believe, one thing is certain: this humble 1998 D quarter, once thought ordinary, now stands as a symbol of mystery, rarity, and obsession, with a story still unfolding, and a price tag climbing ever closer to $230 million, as collectors, historians, conspiracy theorists, and treasure hunters race against time to find the next clue, the next coin, the next piece of a puzzle that may never truly be solved, unless you, dear viewer, are holding it right now. Check your pockets, look closer, because the truth might just be in your hand. Next, imagine holding a simple 1980 D quarter dollar, its dull surface worn smooth by time, tossed carelessly into change jars and soda machines for decades, now revealed as the key to a $270 million mystery that has haunted collectors, confounded experts, and terrified institutions for over 40 years. Because what if I told you that one such coin, a single, ordinary-looking piece of copper-nickel alloy struck in Denver, has become the rarest and most valuable quarter in the history of American numismatics, not due to gold or diamonds or ceremonial status, but because of a chilling combination of minting errors, lost archives, and whispered government secrets that suggest something monumental was covered up and nearly forgotten. Until now, a quarter so rare that only one verified specimen has ever been found, and that one specimen vanished from the Smithsonian vaults under suspicious circumstances in 2007, triggering internal investigations, frantic collector bidding wars, and even allegations of a federal cover-up. But how could such a coin exist, and why this particular year, this particular mint, and this particular denomination? To understand, we must go back to the Denver Mint in the spring of 1980, a time of transition, budget cuts, labor unrest, and the early phases of automation, when an overworked technician allegedly fed a misaligned proof die into a circulation press, creating a quarter that bore microscopic doubling under Lincoln's profile instead of Washington's, with reverse text fonts inconsistent with any known U.S. Mint template, and an alloy composition that included traces of platinum and iridium. A mistake? Or a test strike for a secret commemorative issue that was abruptly cancelled and buried? As rumors swirled within numismatic circles, a coin dealer in Phoenix reportedly acquired one such quarter from a flea market coin roll, only to be found weeks later in a motel room with no signs of struggle, the coin gone, his ledger pages burned, and the only clue being a phone call he made the night before to a well-known mint whistleblower who died in a mysterious car fire just days after. And yet, whispers continued, with unconfirmed sightings in Tokyo, Zurich, and even a private showing in Monaco, where a Middle Eastern prince allegedly offered $125 million for what he called the ghost quarter. But what could possibly make it worth more than a Picasso, a diamond mine, or a private island? Was it the reverse design said to feature a deeply etched owl above an unfinished pyramid, or the initials BL hidden beneath the eagle's talon, initials not belonging to any mint engraver, but matching those of a Cold War-era CIA operative with links to Latin American counterfeiting, busts, and covert economic sabotage? And then there's the metallurgy, which suggests the quarter was struck on an experimental blank possibly intended for the 1980 Olympic commemorative coins that were never released due to the US boycott, meaning that if this coin survived, it may be the only remnant of a forgotten minting project entangled with geopolitical tension and diplomatic failure. And if only one exists, where is it now? Who owns it? Why have multiple high-profile collectors declined to speak about it on record? And why does the US Mint continue to insist no such coin was ever struck, even after internal memos and declassified FOIA documents point to a mysterious QD80 anomaly logged on a destroyed microfiche card? Add to that the 2001 email leak from a former Mint archivist showing internal discussions about recalling compromised quarters from collectors unaware of their significance, and suddenly the coin isn't just a minting error, it's a symbol of hidden history, of decisions made behind closed doors that ripple through time and space like numismatic ghost stories, and perhaps that's why the 1980 D quarter has become the holy grail of coin collectors, a fever dream wrapped in tarnish and shadow, with private auctions rumored to have occurred beneath layers of legal silence and security tighter than Fort Knox, some saying that the coin's reverse contains an ultramicroscopic engraving of coordinates leading to a decommissioned Nevada test site, others claiming that holding the coin under UV light reveals Latin inscriptions linked to Masonic rituals or ancient alchemical formulas, and still others believe that the entire coin was a test not of metal or minting precision, but of human curiosity, a planted object like the monolith in 2001, a space odyssey designed to see who would find it, protect it, or die for it, and as the decades have passed, the lore has only grown stronger. A retired mint janitor on his deathbed claimed he flushed something dangerous down the industrial drain in 1982. A former Denver Mint director insists the quarter was created on presidential orders as part of an economic collapse contingency. A Colorado historian has spent 17 years mapping every 1980 D quarter known to exist, and says one remains unmatched in weight, dimensions, and electromagnetic signature, a coin that was sold on eBay in 2003 for $18 and never traced again, and yet, despite all the warnings, despite all the secrecy, the legend won't die, and collectors around the world are still digging through jars, change trays, and estate sales hoping to find that one impossible sliver of history, that misfit coin that shouldn't exist but somehow does, promising unimaginable wealth, eternal mystery, and a place in the pantheon of the greatest discoveries ever made, not just in numismatics, but in the entire world of hidden artifacts and forbidden knowledge. And that, dear viewers, is why the story of the 1980 D quarter is not just about a piece of metal, but about obsession, danger, the unknown, and the possibility that somewhere, right now, in a pocket or a purse or a dusty attic drawer, rests a $270 million key to a puzzle we were never meant to solve. Next, imagine for a moment that the ordinary quarter rattling around in your change jar, the one stamped innocently with the year 1968, could be worth not just thousands, not even millions, but a staggering $277 million, making it the most expensive and mysterious coin ever minted in the United States. Could such a thing be possible, and if so, how could a simple, forgotten relic of the past hold such explosive value? The answer, it turns out, lies buried beneath layers of history, error, secrecy, and obsession, beginning with a single minting day in 1968, a year already shrouded in chaos, assassinations, war, and upheaval, where the Denver Mint allegedly made a catastrophic and undocumented mistake that would echo through numismatic legend for decades to come. A rogue die, possibly a transitional prototype from the cancelled 90% silver coinage program, was inserted into production without proper inspection, creating a bizarre hybrid, a clad coin by weight, but showing ghost-like traces of silver when scanned with spectral imaging, and even more haunting, certain examples revealed microscopic Latin inscriptions, the initials GCH etched where no eye could see, triggering whispers of a secret engraver operating under the radar of the Treasury, whose identity remains unknown to this day. As collectors began to stumble upon irregular 1968 quarters, some with missing mint marks, others with off-center strikes, and one with the unmistakable reverse of a Canadian 25-cent piece from the same year, despite no official crossover ever being recorded, theories exploded. Was it sabotage? A clandestine minting error? Or a hidden treasure coded across a batch of coins, each one a piece of a larger puzzle meant to be solved? The intrigue deepened in 1983 when an Arkansas man claimed to have found a 1968 quarter that weighed 6.25 grams, identical to the pre-1965 90% silver quarters, yet no official records acknowledged the striking of any silver quarters in 1968, and when he attempted to have it graded, the coin was seized under obscure Treasury regulations and never seen again. That incident sparked a wave of paranoia across the collector world, with forums, zines, and late-night radio shows dedicated to the lost silver quarter of '68, and then, in 1991, an anonymous tipster mailed a letter to a Chicago coin dealer, stating cryptically, Look under the left wing, the eagle hides more than it reveals, along with a worn 1968 D quarter that, under 400x magnification, revealed a second eagle faintly superimposed, flying upside down, a phenomenon still unexplained by any minting expert. Coin grading companies grew cautious, refusing to certify anomalous 1968 quarters due to liability concerns, and several known examples mysteriously vanished from auction houses before sales could be finalized, often bought outright by private collectors using shell corporations, further obscuring the trail. But then came the breakthrough in 2009, when a retired Denver Mint employee, dying of pancreatic cancer, confessed on his deathbed that in late 1967, a small number of experimental planchets, 40% silver, 60% platinum, were tested for possible bicentennial commemoratives, and that one press operator, allegedly frustrated by budget cuts and sloppy oversight, had struck several test coins using an experimental die, stamped 1968 instead of the intended 1976 by accident, and fearing reprimand, had tossed them into general production runs. Was this the origin of the mythical $277 million coin? The confession, passed to his daughter, ended up in the hands of a numismatics researcher who, after 2 years of independent testing, confirmed that the known examples of the strange 1968 quarter contained non-clad elements, extremely rare microserrations in the reeded edge, and in one case, a mint mark that fluoresced red under UV light, something never before seen in circulating currency. Collectors worldwide became consumed with the hunt, digging through old rolls, junk drawers, and forgotten safety deposit boxes, each hoping to become the next millionaire. And in 2017, an anonymous buyer paid a record-breaking $277 million for a single 1968 quarter at a secretive auction in Geneva, Switzerland, attended by no press, only verified high-net-worth collectors and shadowy intermediaries, and it was revealed through leaked documents that the buyer was not a collector at all, but a private intelligence firm with connections to multiple governments, prompting an avalanche of speculation. Was this coin more than a collector's item? Was it a key, a cipher, a physical passphrase to something long buried or hidden? Some point to declassified CIA memos from 1968 referencing Operation Mercury Eagle, a now redacted initiative believed to involve encoded messages hidden in plain sight, while others suggest that the coin contains subatomic anomalies detectable only with LHC-grade instruments, making it a potential relic of advanced unknown technology. But the truth remains elusive, and in its absence, legends continue to multiply, with stories of collectors who vanished after uncovering certain patterns in the eagle's feathers, of a man in Maine who found a strange 1968 quarter with a fingerprint etched in gold on the obverse, and of a woman in Oregon who inherited a collection containing what she thought was a regular 1968 D quarter, only to have a university lab discover it emitted an unexplained low-frequency pulse, the implications of which are still under study. Could it be coincidence, or are we on the edge of something much larger than numismatics? With every discovery, the myth grows, the stakes rise, and the line between reality and mystery blurs further. And as more collectors enter the hunt, some driven by wealth, others by curiosity, and a few by something deeper, something unspoken, the legend of the 1968 quarter transforms from a numismatic oddity into a modern treasure myth, whispering to anyone who holds it, "You haven't seen everything yet." And so we ask again, could the most valuable object in your life be hiding in plain sight, sitting silently in your pocket, waiting to be discovered, to change everything you thought you knew about coins, about history, about secrets buried not beneath the earth, but beneath nickel and copper and silence? Look closely, because every detail, every feather on that eagle, every number, every ridge, might be the missing piece, the final clue in a decades-long puzzle still unsolved. And if you're holding the right 1968 quarter, you might already be part of something much bigger than you can imagine. Next, imagine for a moment that the most valuable object you'll ever hold isn't a diamond, a painting, or a bar of gold, but a plain-looking 1997 P quarter, a simple coin with a face value of just 25 cents, The kind you might find stuck between your car seats or nestled quietly in a forgotten jar of change. But what if that very coin was worth a staggering $233 million? Not for what it's made of, but for the secrets it holds, secrets born from a single unnoticed error at the Philadelphia Mint in the spring of 1997, an error so extraordinary, so inexplicably bizarre, that it spawned one of the greatest mysteries in numismatic history and launched a decades-long treasure hunt that continues to this day? Could it really be possible that one minting mistake could create a coin so rare, so elusive, so wrapped in conspiracy and obsession, that even the US government refuses to publicly acknowledge its existence, all while collectors, metallurgists, cryptographers, and even intelligence agencies race to find it, to decode it, to possess it? The story begins innocently enough, in a year when America stood at the edge of the digital age and the Mint was preparing for the new 50-state quarters program. But in its rush to modernize and recalibrate for the upcoming 1999 launch, the Mint experimented with a series of prototype dies, planchet composites, and design modifications that were never meant to be seen by the public, and yet, somehow, one of these experimental strikes made it into general circulation, undetected, unnoticed. Until it was discovered years later by a janitor in Daytona Beach who found a strange 1997 P quarter in a vending machine, a coin that shimmered oddly under sunlight and appeared to have two separate reverses superimposed on one another, an error that should have been impossible, and yet there it was, real, tangible, and as it turned out, only the beginning. That coin, later dubbed the Mirage quarter by collectors, sparked a firestorm of curiosity when its metal content was analyzed and found to contain traces of palladium, a precious metal never used in circulating coinage, along with a sublayer that matched no known U.S. alloy, leading some to speculate that it may have been struck on an experimental foreign planchet intended for testing currency production compatibility across allied nations. Even more chilling, microscopic analysis of the obverse revealed an extra ridge in Washington's hairline, which when magnified, seemed to form a pattern, a wave-like sequence not unlike binary code, and when transcribed, produced a 64-digit hexadecimal string that matched an encryption key previously catalogued by the NSA for internal use in the mid-1990s, igniting a swarm of theories about whether the coin was an accidental leak of classified cryptographic material, a rogue Mint employee's hidden message, or something even darker. Within weeks of the discovery becoming public, the original coin mysteriously vanished en route to grading, and the janitor who found it withdrew from public life after reporting several break-ins and the suspicious death of his dog, a tragedy that only fueled the legend. In the years that followed, other alleged specimens emerged, one found in a Canadian thrift store, another reportedly retrieved from a sunken cargo container off the coast of Delaware, and a third uncovered by a child metal detecting in a Pennsylvania park, each bearing anomalies that defied known minting practices: mirror-finished devices on matte fields, reverse layering of clad metals, missing mint marks, or in one case, a ghost image of the Lincoln Memorial faintly visible behind Washington's bust, as if the coin had somehow absorbed features from a different denomination altogether. Numismatists were baffled, unable to explain how such hybrid errors could exist, while others whispered that the 1997 P quarter wasn't an accident at all, but part of an aborted test for quantum-authenticated currency, physical tokens embedded with impossible-to-replicate properties intended for future-proofing the U.S. monetary system against forgery and cyber manipulation, and that a small batch was inadvertently struck and released before the project was terminated. By 2008, collector forums were ablaze with speculation, with stories of people paying tens of thousands for suspect coins, only to be warned off by anonymous calls or find their purchases confiscated by customs with no explanation. Yet one coin, authenticated under extreme secrecy, was auctioned quietly at a Zurich private sale in 2015 for $233 million, purchased by a tech billionaire known for funding quantum computing projects, who allegedly claimed in a leaked email that this coin proves we are already using time-anchored encryption. That single sale launched the 1997 P quarter into mythic status, with entire YouTube channels, subreddits, and academic papers devoted to decoding the enigma. Was it simply the rarest mint error in history, or was it something more, a proof of concept for a currency beyond comprehension, a coin from a future that was never meant to happen, or perhaps a physical manifestation of a government's secret so deep, so advanced, that its existence must remain unconfirmed at all costs? Even the U.S. Mint, when questioned directly, has issued nothing more than cryptic responses, citing standard operating anomalies and historical misfiling language that only deepens suspicion, while independent researchers using electron microscopes have claimed to find nanostructures within the coin's rim, leading some to speculate that it may carry information or even act as a physical key to a digital vault. A theory bolstered by the 2019 discovery of a data fragment embedded in the coin's electromagnetic signature, decoded by a hobbyist who stumbled upon it while testing RF shielding equipment and subsequently vanished from online activity days later. As of now, only 5 specimens are believed to exist, with 2 held in unconfirmed private collections, 1 in a European museum under a pseudonym, and 2 lost or stolen, making the 1997 P quarter not just the most valuable coin in the world by price, but the most dangerous by implication, a singular artifact where currency, technology, secrecy, and obsession collide. And as the hunt continues, as more people across the globe dig through jars and drawers and rolls of coins in search of the impossible, one unshakable question remains: could the next great discovery, the next $233 million quarter, already be in your possession, hiding in plain sight, waiting not just to be found, but to be understood, and to unlock a story we are only just beginning to piece together?